There are certain essentials that every filmmaker needs in their repertoire, and one of those essentials is a wireless video transmission system. It doesn't matter whether you're shooting with the help of a gimbal or you are more into the run and gun style. At one point you either want to transmit your video signal to a different kind of device or you just want to share your video feed with your customer. But these tools are capable of even more amazing things, so let me show you by the example of the HoloLens Mars 400S Pro what they have in store for you. What up guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Eddie and today we are going to talk about wireless video transmission systems like this one here and why you should have one at your disposal. I will show you how you can use it and where it can make your life easier. All this is possible since the guys from HoloLens were kind enough to supply me with one of their Mars 400S Pro units. This image transmission system has not only a small footprint, a low latency down to 0.1 seconds, but can be powered through USB-C, MPF batteries or DC power supply. It can interface with cameras through HDMI or SDI and can transmit video signals up to 1080p in 60 frames. So thank you HoloLens for making this video possible. Inside the box we have, of course, the mandatory paperwork. And right underneath we can find the Mars 400S Pro image transmission system. It comes with one transmitter and one receiver and they cannot switch their operation mode, so you better memorize right away that the transmitter is the one with the red ring and the receiver is the one with the blue ring. On the front we have 3 buttons to adjust the settings on their OLED display. On the top there are 2 antenna interfaces, and on the back we can find one power in, one HDMI in, one USB-C in and a power button. You can also power the whole unit with Sony NPF batteries, so this gives you 3 options in total to power this unit. Oh, and by the way, I meant it when I said it, memorize the color of the receiver and the transmitter because there's no other way to tell them easily apart, since they are absolutely identical. The HoloLens 400S Pro also comes with SDI connectivity, so you can hook up professional cinema cameras to it. This is especially nice if you at some point transition into more professional gear, because you don't have to buy a new image transmission system, because this one already has you covered. Also included in this package by HoloLens is one DC adapter, and on the bottom we can find 5 antennas for the transmitter and the receiver, so this means you have one spare antenna if one ever breaks. To mount them, remove the protective caps and just screw on the antenna. HoloLens was also kind enough to send me their USB-C to Ethernet adapter, which plugs right into the transmitter or receiver of their system. However, unfortunately, I was not able to get it to work. Like, maybe it worked once or twice, and when it did, it worked great, but the results were not consistent. I even reached out to my contacts at HoloLens, and unfortunately, this solution is just not there yet. It's not plug and play. For example, your receiver works with a fixed IP range, so you cannot just plug it into your router and hope that it will connect to your computer. You have to adjust your IP settings, so you really have to know what you're doing, and if you're somebody who has no clue about networking, you're pretty much lost with this solution here. However, I'm confident that HoloLens will take a different approach on their next product and they will get it to work properly. And talking about working properly, let me show you how amazing the HoloView app is that comes with the Mars 400S Pro. If you are on an iOS device, make sure that HoloView has access to your network. Once you hit connect, the app will automatically launch the video stream that is connected to your transmitter. This can be done with up to 4 devices, and the only requirement you have is that they have the HoloView app installed on them. And as you probably guessed by now, this app not only lets you view the stream, it also turns your smartphone into a fully fledged video monitor. In order to hide or reveal all the tools, just tap anywhere on the screen. You can choose from the following set of tools: waveforms, a histogram, focus peaking, and if you keep your finger on the selected tool, you have the option to further adjust the settings of the selected tool. In this case, you can adjust the grain color of the focus peaking, and through the threshold slider, you can adjust its sensitivity. Also available are zebras, The frame option inserts a safe area guide onto your view field, so you can adjust it in different kind of aspect ratios, colors, and even its size, so you can make sure that you always shoot what you want to have in your frame. With the help of Magnify, you can check whether your overall footage is in focus. However, if you enable focus peaking, unfortunately, it is not applied to the magnifying glass. It is applied to the main footage that is running and displayed in the background. So this gives a weird effect, and I hope they will change that in an upcoming update. False colors will help you to nail your exposure, and if you don't know what the colors mean, just keep your finger on it and it will display the false color chart. This is quite convenient to adjust your exposure accordingly. You can also have monocolors if you want to, and you can even apply LUTs to your footage. And if the stock LUTs are not enough, you can add your own. For this, airdrop your desired LUT to your iPhone. Accept the request and select Files. Now go ahead, select On My iPhone, select HolyView, enter 3D LUT and hit Save. If you now head back into the HolyView app, you can now select your own LUT under the advanced settings. Last but not least, you also have the ability to flip the image from left to right. There are also two not so obvious features available. If you tap and hold on the left side of the display, you can adjust the brightness of it. And if you tap and hold on the right side of the display, you can adjust the audio settings, since audio is also transmitted to your receiving device. If the need should ever arise, you also have the option to record the video feed that you see on your smartphone to, let's say, share example footages of what you are recording, or you can also just take a photo of it to share it later with your customer. Holyland claims that the Mars 400S Pro has a latency of 0.1 seconds. Let's see if that's actually true. For this test, let me explain the setup I came up with. On the left side, you can see an Atomos Ninja 5, which is fed by the receiver of the Holyland 400S Pro. And on the right side, you can see an iPhone 12 Pro, which is connected through Wi-Fi to the transmitter of the Holyland 400S Pro. Now let's freeze the frame here for a moment. You can see right off the bat that there is some latency happening, and it's definitely not 0.1 seconds. It seems like the Wi-Fi transmission between the transmitter and the iPhone is a tad faster than the transmission between the receiver and transmitter. So essentially we are talking about a latency that is somewhere around 0.3 seconds or 7 to 8 frames. And this is without any interference or any significant distance between the receiver and the transmitter. The moment you get that, your mileage may vary. To test your possible mileage, I also did another test. I left the transmitter sitting in my office and started to walk with the receiver and my Atomos out of the apartment, which already adds up to somewhere around 20 meters. Now I'm going downstairs by one flight and you can see that I'm already losing the signal. But considering the amount of concrete the signal has to travel through, in my opinion, this is a tremendous result. Now let's see if we can reacquire the signal if I walk onto the street. So now we are already somewhere around 15 meters between the transmitter and the receiver, and don't forget we now have roughly 1 meter of concrete blocking the signal. And nothing is happening yet, but watch what happens the moment I step out of the shadow of the building. Wait for it, almost there. Oh, something's happening. See, we have one bar and boom, we have an image. And not only do we have an image that is coming right out of this window here, the signal is strong and steady, so we don't have any weird artifacts or whatever in it. This result means that if you're filming in a densely populated area with lots of interferences, you should check the stability of your signal before you decide to solely rely on it. However, with a clear field of view or even with just a few obstacles, you'll have a rock steady signal. Depending on the latency you get, the signal could get too slow for focus pulling. So under such conditions, you rather use this solution for pure monitoring or tasks that are not time sensitive. For example, you could transmit your video onto a display or an iPad, so your customer can get a preview of the footage you're filming. Or you just hook up your computer to the TV in the living room. The possibilities are only limited by the concrete around you. Another limiting factor could be the fans located within the NP-F battery slots, and these can be turned off within the menus. However, the internal microphone on the camera will pick it up, so I would highly recommend using an external one. Thanks to the small footprint of the Mars 400S Pro, you can also utilize it on a lightweight gimbal setup like this one here with the Ronin RS2, and you can even go as far and power it through USB-C directly from the gimbal. However, I'm unfortunately missing an HDMI output, so I could loop my HDMI signal to something like the Raven Eye from DJI. In conclusion, the HoloLens Mars 400S Pro system is a surprisingly versatile tool that can help in numerous use cases. You can use it for video production related purposes like an additional video monitor to check exposure, preview your shots with your customer on set, or rack focus. Or you do simple things like connecting your PC with the TV in the living room. This device can create a bridge between pretty much every HDMI and SDI device with a fast and reliable connection. However, there is still room for improvement with things like the network streaming capability and a missing HDMI output. I'm also curious when HoloLens will surprise us with a device that is capable of transmitting a 4K signal. With that in mind, what do you think about HoloLens Mars 400S Pro, and where would you want to use it in your production workflow? Let me know in the comments below. And with that said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.